Shine your light, shine your light. Let your love be bold and bright. A flame that lights your darkest night. Shine your light. Be the best that you can be. Shine for all humanity. Love your neighbor, you and me. Shine your light. Shine your light, shine your light. Let your love be bold and bright. Flame that lights your darkest night. Shine your light. God is shining in my soul. Now I'm feeling full and whole. Letting go of all control. Shine your light. Shine your light, shine your light. Let your love be bold and bright. Flame that lights your darkest night. Shine your light. Some say no, but I say yes. It's a choice to blame or bless. Plus or minus, more or less. Shine your light. Shine your light, shine your light. Let your love be bold and bright. A flame that lights your darkest night. Shine your light. Sometimes life can knock me down, but I will not despair. When I fall, you lift me up with the power of your prayer. Here we go, now we start. Everybody has their part. Show the world what's in your heart. Shine your light. Shine your light, shine your light. Let your love be bold and bright. A flame that lights your darkest night. Shine your light. Shine your light, shine your light. Let your love be bold and bright. A flame that lights your darkest night. Shine your light. A flame that lights your darkest night. Shine your light.
Breathing in that light that's outside shining ever so brightly, that light that's shining here at the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living, that light that's shining through the music, that's shining through the media, that's shining through Rev Don as he speaks to us today, and that light that shines ever so brightly in our hearts as we celebrate that feminine energy today. Please join me in affirming, and so it is. We are an interfaith gathering, a spiritual community that honors all teachings and all spiritual teachers. And now we begin the ceremony that celebrates this oneness of life, that acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths come for the one universal presence, which we call spirit. Please join me in honoring Linda as our candle lighter this morning. And so let us begin. The Tao. Honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. Shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of pristine spirituality. Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the last candle is the healing candle of love. We invite you in the stillness of your own mind to bring to awareness the names of anyone you wish to be included in this healing flame of love and light. Now that our flames of faith are fully lit, we move forward into our celebration, realizing and reaffirming that all paths lead to God. And so it is. So it is. Our inspirational quote today comes from Ernest Holmes. Can we talk to God? It's on page 31, paragraph 3. There is an energy in thought, not because we will it to be so, but because it is so. Definite thinking draws this energy to our conscious desires and demonstrates at the level of our faith. And so it is. So it is. More music.
My soul sings out to you, my love. My soul sings out to you. My soul sings out to you, my love. My soul sings out to you. Oh Lord, my God, you are my strength. You carry me on your wings. You are in me, you know my heart. And my soul sings out to you. My soul sings out to you, my love. My soul sings out to you. My soul sings out to you, my love. My soul sings out to you. Your constant blessings flow to me like a mighty river to my heart. You are my life, you set me free, and I will love you forever and ever and ever and ever, forever and ever and ever and ever. My soul sings out to you, my love. My soul sings out to you. My soul sings out to you, my love. My soul sings out to you.
Welcome. It's so good to see all of you. So many more people we're seeing today. My name is Karen Blair Sherman, and I am a licensed practitioner here at the Alaska Center for Spiritual Living. I'm so glad to see the people that are all here in the building and all the people who are in the building via Facebook. It's so nice. FaceTime, sorry. Or Facebook. Thank you. I recently had FaceTime this morning with my grandkids, so I was like, yeah, that's okay. So anyway, I am one of the many licensed practitioners. We also have here Linda, and we have Robert, and we have Judy, and we have Bob, and we have Ann Fleming, and we also have Rev Dawn. And so I say that because we love to pray. And one of the ways that you can receive prayer is right after service. You can tap one of us and say, please know the truth for me. Please celebrate with me. Please give me a 1-minute miracle, which we also call Om. There are other ways that you can receive prayer. There is a little blue slip if you are here in the building, and you can fill that out and put it in the box as you arrived. There's a box right there to your right. And I will send those prayer requests out, and we will know the truth for you all week and be celebrating with you all week, whatever it is that you have that is in need. And then you also can call Rev here at the center, leave a message. Rev Dawn will get back to you. And also you can go to our website, and there is a place that you can click for prayer. So there are many ways to receive prayer, and I invite you to use that tool and put it into your toolbox, because I use it all the time. Just because you're a practitioner does not mean that you do not use it. Is there anyone here that is here for the first time here in the building? Because we have a packet for you if you would like. And if you don't want to raise your hand right now to receive that, you can see Judy when you're leaving, and she will give that to you then. Okay, a couple of announcements that we have. 5% of our offerings always get circulated back into our community. And for this month, we are honoring the Homer Community Food Pantry. So it's not just in Anchorage. Our community is considered all of Alaska. Actually, it's considered all of the world. So there are times that we even give, right, to other places that aren't even in Alaska. But most of the time, we do look for places that are closer to home. And then also, we have some people that are coming back this summer that it's going to be really wonderful, and there will be more news coming forth later. But I want to give you a little tidbit to let you know that Rev Linda is going to be coming, and she'll be here in June, and she'll be speaking. And then Rev Rachel is going to be here in July, and not only will she be speaking, she will be singing, and that will be so. Before Rev Dawn, our wonderful minister, comes up and speaks to us today about What Was I Thinking, which is an awesome topic. And I always love his stories, and I hope that he has a joke for us today, because I always do love those jokes. No joke? Okay, well.
You can take one out.
He always brings his bright, shining self forward, so I love to see that. We will be singing this special song called Love Can Build a Bridge. If you know it, we invite you to sing it. The woman who sang it, Naomi Judd, died this past week. Wow. And we just want to honor that and remember that, yes, love can build a bridge, and no matter how someone looks in a moment, it's always good to reach out to them to make sure that they're okay during this time. So, love can build a bridge. I'm sure you'll recognize the chorus at least.
I gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet, to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? 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 Don't you think it's time?
Love can indeed build a bridge. Boy, I'm hot today. And it is definitely time. Thank you to choir. We had a full choir today. Aaron, thank you. Earlier this week, I got a call from my daughter, and she said, "Hey, Dad, that fly fishing film that you wanted to watch is on at the Beartooth this week. Do you want to go?" And, "Oh, yeah, that's a great, yeah, I want to go to that fly fishing film." What a great way to get ready for summer, to go to a fly fishing film. And we got ready to go. We made our plans. It started at 8:30, which is somewhat of a challenge because my normal bedtime is 9. It's my preferred time, but for a fly fishing film, why not, you know? So Ann and I and my daughter and her son all packed up and went to the fly fishing film. And we got out about 11. So by the time I got home and snuggled in for the night, it was about midnight. And at 20 minutes after 5 in the morning, I woke up. I wake up every single morning at 20 minutes after 5, have been for well over 50 years. And get out of bed, and I rolled over, and the first thing that hit my brain was, what were you thinking? Short nights are not my forte. What were you thinking? Well, good morning to everyone. Thank you for coming out. It's wonderful to see so many people here today. And I know that we've got our usual contingent online. And welcome to those of you watching later in the week on Facebook or on YouTube. It is indeed an honor to be invited into your homes. Thank you. And I want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. Want to celebrate and honor the mother within all of us, regardless of our gender or position in the family. We all have that feminine energy, and we all have part of that nurturing mother side of us. So congratulations to all mothers, and we honor all mothers. Today I have 2 points that I want to emphasize. First, it's very important to feel our emotions. Last week we talked about recognizing our emotions, and we continue our month-long discussion of emotions today with talking about the importance of really feeling the emotions. And then secondly, I want to talk about this idea that you are not at fault for a negative experience in your life. It's not your fault. First of all, it's very important to feel your emotions. Most of us were taught during childhood to avoid our emotions. Little boys were taught, don't cry. We were taught to avoid feeling our emotions. We tend to run from them. In the grief recovery process that I teach, one of the things that we talk about, we call them STIRBs. It's short-term emotional relief behaviors. And there are a whole host of STIRBs. Perhaps one of the most common is alcohol and drugs. If you want to numb out of a situation, alcohol and drugs are a quick, easy way. But you notice these are called STIRBs. That's short term. That doesn't mean that you can't be a drunk for 50 years, but what that means is that alcohol and drugs and all these other STIRBs only last for a short period of time. So you have to keep reapplying them to keep the contact with your emotions down. Alcohol and drugs. Food is another good one. A lady told a story about when she was small and she came home in tears, and her mom asked her, what's wrong? And she said the other little girls on the playground were making fun of her and made her feel bad and didn't include her in the games that they were doing, and she felt bad. And so Mom said, "Here, you don't need to cry. Feel better. Have a cookie and you'll feel better." And the lesson that she learned was to hide her feelings behind food. Have a cookie, you'll feel better. Another common one is exercise. Boy, you can get in and exercise, get on that treadmill and not get off. And I've seen people shift their stirrups. They begin with alcohol or drugs and realize, ooh, this is not helping me at all, and shift it to exercise, where they're in the gym 7 days a week. I could use a little more time in the gym. Movies, TV, and books, escapism. You just go into that place and forget about it. Binge watching. When the pandemic struck, all of the watching on Netflix just exploded. People were binge watching and hiding their emotions regarding the pandemic. Isolation. Some people isolate themselves. Sex is another one. Shopping. Sometimes it's humorously called retail therapy. And then the other really big one, and it's my personal favorite, is workaholism. If you're at work and you're really got your nose to the grindstone, you don't have time for your feelings. You don't have time to face that. But I submit that rather than pushing our emotions down, rather than do that, we can welcome our emotions. We can recognize them for the signposts that they are, and we can look beneath them to see what they are really teaching us. We can look those emotions in the face and see what they have to say. In the Grief Recovery Handbook, there is a story of a man who lost his dog when he was a little boy. His dog died, and he felt really, really bad, and he cried, and his dad said, now don't cry. We'll go to the dog pound on Saturday and get a new dog, and you'll feel better. And sure enough, Saturday came, and they went to the dog pound, and they got a new dog. 35 some years later, this man went through a particularly painful divorce. But what did he learn? Don't cry, replace the loss. So he didn't cry, he didn't face his emotions, he didn't deal with it at all, and 4 months later, he married a young lady much younger than him. He replaced the loss with a shiny new puppy. I don't need to tell you how long that marriage lasted. It doesn't help us to bury these emotions. We can look at them and see what they have to say. Their emotions are signposts along the highway of our lives, telling us when we're off course and how to get back on. Now, last week I talked about the book Abraham Hicks, and in that I talked a little bit about upstream thinking and downstream thinking. And just as a quick review, the way Esther Hicks, Abraham, phrases this is that when we are in alignment with that divine current, when we allow the divine, whatever name you want to associate with it, God, Spirit, the thing itself, when we're in alignment with that and we allow that to guide us and lead us, it takes us to our desired destination with the least amount of effort, and it works every single time. It's when we decide what is best for us and what we need to do that we turn and we try rowing back upstream. And that doesn't work nearly as well. It's a lot more effort, and usually we don't end up where we want to be anyway. The secret is to identify when our thinking is upstream or downstream, and then change that thinking to downstream thinking. One of the questions that came up, and this was from the book, and it was, how did it phrase it? Now that I have discovered the law of attraction, I am afraid of what I am thinking. Am I attracting this into my life? Am I going to attract this? And so this is how Abraham suggested that you move through a process of changing your thinking in regard to this. And so we begin with I am not good at controlling my thoughts. Very upstream thought. I catch myself in the middle of unpleasant thoughts all day long. Very upstream. At times, though, I do contemplate very positive things. I see that the law of attraction gives me more thoughts that are like my current active thoughts. I can choose more deliberately which thought I decide to make the active thought. I know that when I know what I don't want, I also know what I do want. I can lean in a more positive direction. There are many positive things happening in my life. It is not necessary for every thought I think to be a perfectly positive thought. My work is to merely lean in a positive direction. It isn't even possible to think only positive thoughts. I think I am doing that much more now than I was a few weeks ago. I am directing my thoughts. Not only do I feel better these days, but things are turning out better for me. I now see that the evidence I am looking for is an improved feeling rather than a changed condition. An improved feeling instead of a changed condition. I also know that a consistently improved feeling will be the forerunner of an improved condition. And finally, I not only understand the process of creation, but I am also effectively applying it. And through this little process that we went through, we've turned our little boat around, and instead of trying to fight upstream and row hard against the current, we're allowing the current to take us to our desired destination. That infinite creative force will help us along the way. My second point, you are not at fault for creating negative experiences in your life. Now, this is kind of tricky, and maybe we're just playing with semantics, because our thoughts are creative and our lives are indeed the outpicturing of those thoughts. But my point is you're not at fault. There's not something wrong with you for thinking those thoughts. It's not an inherent fault within you. Ann and I are taking this series of classes called Education Uplift. It's from home office. Starts at 8 a.m. sharp. And this week we had an interesting topic. And one of the questions that was posed to the group, what is there, Ann, about 50 people in there? It's not huge, but it's not tiny. What they posed is that a person is assaulted, the victim of an assault. Did they attract that into their experience? And should their assaulter be prosecuted? Very rich discussion ensued. Then we went into breakout groups and had deeper discussion, and then we came back together. And in the end, the consensus was that the person did not attract the assault into their lives. Now, what was agreed on, everybody thought, is that the law of attraction was indeed at work. Your core beliefs influence what you perceive. Your core beliefs influence what you perceive. It's a thing that they call confirmation bias. And that is, if you believe that a certain condition exists, that is what you are going to that's what you are going to perceive. That's what you're going to experience. Example, if you believe that your tires on your car are bald and it's snowy and icy out there, that you're going to have a wreck. Now, that doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to have a wreck, but it could mean that you're over applying your brakes, you're doing some things wrong that could lead to that, and you could actually end up manifesting that in your life. As you perceive the snowstorm that you're in, you actually create the condition for you to go into the ditch. Confirmation bias. If you already believe it, that's what you tend to see. And we see that in the witnesses to an accident. You're going to have, what's that psychology study done decades and decades ago, 12 people saw exactly the same thing, and we had like 10 totally different examples. They had different colored cars, which way they were going. And we have that famous one, I even played it here years ago, was the basketball thing, and people are taught to count how many times the basketball is passed, and everybody watches that, and in the end they ask, did anybody see the gorilla? Nobody saw a gorilla. And yet they replay it, and sure enough, everyone was so focused on counting the number of passes, they missed the guy in the gorilla suit that walked right through the middle of the basketball court. Another idea that was brought up is this assault could be a lesson. And I don't know, I rejected that. In our breakout group, what I said is, yes, I think that we're here to learn things, and I think it's important that we do all this, but I don't feel that it's a lesson. When I hear the word lesson, I have this vision of my high school chemistry and physics teacher in his coat, and the guy was the most brilliant physicist to ever get chalk dust on his coat. But I don't think that we get lessons like that. I don't think that it's a schoolmaster directing us. And then the question comes that, okay, if we have these lessons, if I learn all these lessons, if I do everything, am I going to have a perfect life? If I pass all the lessons in course? And then one guy brought up a point that sort of shut everybody down, and he said, what if there's nothing to learn? It's just to feel. The conclusion that many people came to is that everything is God and everything is fully human. My take, what my feeling on this is, and this is one of the things I love about our philosophy, is that we don't have a dogma. I'm not up here to tell you what to think and decide that for yourself, but I do sometimes share with you what I think, and this is one of those times. I believe that we humans are finite beings, and we have a finite worldview. That divine creative force has a much larger perspective. It is an infinite perspective. This assault might be for everyone's highest good. We just don't see it yet. We're not at a place where we can see that. And everything is God, and everything is fully human. And we have free will. We are free to make mistakes. We are free to sign up to go to a movie that starts at 8:30, knowing that next morning we're going to say, what was I thinking? I don't even want to go into last night because I opened my calendar and discovered that we had tickets to go see Postmodern Jukebox. But I learned and so we have kind of a saying around our household, and it's next man up. If somebody goes down, next man up. So I didn't want to go through that experience. I picked up my phone and called my daughter and said, how would you like to go to Postmodern Jukebox with your mother? I'd love it, that'd be great. So I did learn. And we're free to make mistakes. And that's the beauty of it. Conclusion, what I want to leave everybody with today. By facing our emotions and looking underneath them, we learn how our beliefs originated. We can do the healing work necessary to process them instead of hiding from them or ignoring them. By embracing these emotions, we can uncover our hurts and pains and apply forgiveness, compassion, and love to help heal. Tough times then become learning opportunities. Not the guy in the coat, but a learning, feeling opportunity. We grow through emotions and bring balance into our lives. We no longer need to ignore, run, or hide from the pain. We can move into welcoming it into our experience with open arms and hearts. We can look it directly in the face and see what it has to say. And so with this awareness of the importance of our emotions and awareness that infinite creative force is continually and forever creating that stream, that river. And all we need to do is align with it. I invite my colleagues, the practitioners, to join me in affirmative prayer for our congregation, for our city, our state, our nation, our world. And simply recognizing that flow is always for us. That infinite creative force that has made the heavens and earth and everything in it, and it has done so perfectly, including you and me. And so the things that we experience, they're very, very real in our lives. But there is another higher truth behind all of them. Yes, there is poverty in the world. Yes, there is lack and limitation. But we live in a world of unbounded plenty. We live in a world of abundance. Yes, there is sickness and disease and illness in the world, but there is also a blueprint within each and every one of us that is perfection. And it is that blueprint of perfection that we embrace. Yes, there is discord. There are arguments. There are differences of opinion in the world. There are wars. There are horrible, horrible things. And each and every one of us are beloved offspring of the Most High. Each and every one of us have been created by a divine creative force. And so we are all related in that divine creative force. And so we just give thanks. We give thanks for our awareness of that stream in our lives. We give thanks for the power and the presence. And we just step into that current and we let it guide us and lead us. We let it go, and so it is.
Wake up and say, hallelujah for this day. Oh, how it blesses me. I wake up and see Spirit in me. Oh, how it blesses me. I'm gonna say every morning, thank you, thank you. Say in the noontime, thank you, thank you. Say every evening, thank you, thank you. Oh, how it blesses me. Wake up and feel more of love in me revealed. Oh,
stole your notes. I'm sorry.
All right.
Oh, God, there's all the sand stuff, too. This is the time in the service where we are afforded the opportunity to, you don't need to come running up, Judy. You can even take a rest, because I've got another story. A story for the collection today. And for the people that are new, why we have two baskets, we do believe in this thing called the law of circulation. So as you are given the opportunity to make an offering to us, you don't have to, of course, we also give the opportunity for you to take a card. It's an affirmation card, and it really is cool the way it works because you will draw exactly the card that you need for this day. So we invite you to do that. And for those of you at home, tough luck, you don't get it.
Now can I come?
No, you're too early. I haven't done my story yet. In 1999, first I want to recognize at least a few of the people who are online today. Colleen is there, Candace Moore, Susie Peterson, and Lynn and Marion. And of course, during the week later on, we have Sarah and Cora, and I'm thinking there's a couple more that if we don't have the video up by noon on Monday, I get calls. Okay, 1999, 12-year-old Ada Zuge and her older sister boarded a plane to America, fleeing the former Yugoslavia with barely anything to their name. On board, a fellow passenger slipped the young refugees an envelope with $100, a pair of earrings, and a note. I am so sorry that the bombing of your country has caused your family problems, it read. I hope your stay in America will be safe and a happy one for you. Welcome to America. Please use this to help you here. A friend from the plane, Tracy. Well, for years, Zugoff has been trying to find the woman who she says brought an immeasurable amount of comfort and hope with her gesture. Comfort and hope that neither sister has ever forgotten. Now, here's where things get really good. She tried for years, social media and everything. This is a really condensed version of this story. The lady that wrote, my colleague Catherine Soichet wrote a story about the sisters. This was on a national blog. They'd been searching for all this time. This blog has 2.5 million subscribers, and so it reached a lot bigger arc than they were used to. And within days, the mysterious Tracy was found. Tracy Peck says she clearly remembers seeing the two girls on the plane, scared and unsure, surviving violence and displacement, just what's going on today. That Peck couldn't even imagine. Peck couldn't imagine. Peck and the sisters had an emotional reunion over a video call. You both are remarkable young women, Peck told them. I am so thankful that I was sitting next to you on that airplane, and I am so proud of you both for what you've become and how your life has turned out here. And I tell this story now to show the power of generosity. And every single month I get thank you letters from the people that we support with our giving every month. And they are indeed touching. And I like to share with you every month when we get those wonderful thank you letters and cards. So now you can come up. Uh-oh, sat too long.
Yeah, I'm creepy.
Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
All right.
still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know. I will make a quiet place within my life, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet, I will make a quiet, I will make a quiet, I will make a quiet place.
So as we come to a close today, remember those emotions are those signposts, that roadmap for our life. And by embracing those emotions, it allows us to open to releasing. We are free to have mistakes. And so it is.
And so it is.
And our affirmation. True embrace is an inside job. True embrace is an inside job.
So it is. Shine your light.